No. Come on, where is it?
Dave, it's your Idaho Central app here. Any chance you're missing a debit card? Let's get that taken care of for you. With ICCU's card control, you can turn any card off with the tap of your finger.
You got it.
And back on again. Out, 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 out. The closest Idaho Central Credit Union branch is in your pocket.
Ooh, the gym. My old stomping grounds. Hank Patterson, Fly Fishing Guide.
Riley Smith, tight end.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Hey, you wouldn't happen to be the kicker?
No, tight end.
Again, thank you. I'm looking for a kicker for Lithia Ford's fall kickoff sale. But you're not the kicker.
No.
Yeah. Nah, the kicker's probably taller and in a lot better shape. So, okay. What position do you play?
Tight end.
Squats. Yeah. Try it sometime.
RowPaint.com, the official paint and coatings company of Boise State Athletics, is going all in this season with an all-star lineup. First up, he led the Broncos to 3 conference championships and 10 20-win seasons. It's Coach Leon Rice. Next, he's the founder and CEO of RowPaint.com. He played a little basketball in high school on the driveway with his mom. It's Andy Rowe.
Oh, no. Want to just paint my house?
Now that I can do. When I want Boise State to win, I trust Coach Rice to lead the Broncos to victory.
And when I want the best painting and garage floor coating, I trust RowPaint.com to get that job done right.
This is Bronco Nation News Live. The best interviews, the most informed opinions, the latest breaking news, all from the top Boise State insiders. Today's broadcast is coming from the Cutwater Spirits Canned Cocktail Studios. Check out one of their more than 30 flavors of pre-mixed premium cocktails at your local gas station or grocery store. Cutwater Canned Cocktails is perfect for your next game day tailgate party. Now, here's 4-time NSMA Idaho Sports Writer of the Year, BJ Rains, with another edition of Bronco Nation News Live.
Well, it wasn't easy last night in Fresno, California. Final free throw from Rex Rice, who rims off. But the half-court heave is no good. And Boise State hangs on for a 72-68 win at the Save Mart Center in Fresno, California. We bring in John Mallory, host of Prater in the Ballgame, weekdays at 95.3 FM. The Ticket, 3 to 6 p.m. My name is BJ Rains, and this is Bronco Nation News Live on a Wednesday morning after Johnny, up 16, got a little dicier than it needed to be, but Boise State able to hang on and get the win.
Got the win, BJ. 5-1 in league now, BJ? 6-1 in league now. We don't even know their record, obviously.
5-1. 5-1.
5-1 in league now. I said you had to get 13-5. Do the math. You got to go 8-4 over the final 12 games of the season. You put yourself in a good position to do that. It's funny. You're right, because you know, that was an interesting game, and that got scary. And if Buzo doesn't hit that 3 in the corner, I think they would have lost, BJ. That was a shot Boise State might look back on and say, had that not went in, they're on the 12 line versus being on the 8-9 line come March, BJ. That might have been the 3 that will live forever. Big-time shot by Buzo. But it's so funny. I come in today, and I'm talking with JP, my guy, Idaho Sports Talk, and he kind of shakes his head, and we're talking about the game. He said, they should have beat those guys by 30. shaking his head like, come on, and I'm like, dude, the wins are hard to come by in this league. They're on scholarship too. Their coaching staff is on the hot seat. They're trying like hell to save this season and get a win against a marquee team in their league. They played way better than they had all year. That is not the scouting report that I got from Bob Beeler on that team, and Beeler is usually money with his scouting reports, meaning Fresno played way above its potential. Good for them, but good for Boise for handling the moment of crisis, handling uncomfort, right? That was cruise control. All of a sudden, it wasn't. They had to get together and say, whoa, hey, guys, look what's in front of us here. We are not going to lose this game down here in Fresno. Let's regroup. They did. BJ, I thought there was a lot of good takeaways with this win. If I'm a fan of this team, I'm celebrating every win in this league, certainly those on the road. And, but old JP over there, beat them by 30.
Yeah, and when you're up 16 with 10 minutes to go, that would have been a nice thing to push past 20 and crush them and maybe get some bench guys a few more minutes and help out your computer metrics, and none of that happened. They actually lost spots in a lot of the computer metrics last night because they were supposed to win by more than they did. Johnny, we're effectively making this the Lithia Ford Boise post-game show this morning. Wasn't able to do a show last night. The team actually, by the way, Johnny, did not get out last night. The fog in Boise last night, the charter company that they fly with did not want to risk having to get diverted to Twin Falls. So the team had to stay in Fresno last night. But luckily, the flight that I was on, we were able to give it a shot, and it was a close call. But obviously, we're able to land, and I'm back, and we are here and ready to go today. But we're going to hear from Leon Rice briefly. We're going to hear from Max Rice briefly, and we're going to hear from Omar Stanley briefly. We were not able to get those interviews that I did out last night after the game to a post-game show. There was no post-game show, so this is basically it, Johnny, and on about 4 hours of sleep, but fired up to talk about this game. And as somebody already brought it up, Johnny, I guess we'll just mention it real quick. How about UNLV getting blasted by Air Force last night? And that certainly didn't help anything for Boise State, because now now that UNLV loss is looking a little worse now.
I just think Boise State needs to win, beat the teams that can beat. You're going to lose a couple, you're going to win a few, and let the chips fall. I don't think you can be all bummed. I'm not going to go into work today with a frown on my face because UNLV got its ass kicked in Colorado Springs. No, actually, it was at home. It was in Vegas, even worse. That UNLV got smoked at home, and it messed up my team's computer rankings. I mean, just beat Utah State, right? The computer rankings will be your best friend if that's the case, you'd think, huh?
No doubt. And I do have the Mountain West standings here, by the way, that when this loads in a second, we can take a look at this. Utah State, Boise State tied at 5-1 at the top of the Mountain West standings there. And those two teams will play for sole possession of first place on Saturday. We'll have all week to break that down. But you've got San Diego State, New Mexico, Colorado State sitting there with 2 losses. And then Wyoming, 3-3. Wyoming off doing a little better than some folks had thought to this point. Nevada,
they're good at home too. They're good in Laramie.
They
7-1
are
at home.
7-1 at home. You look at all those home records for those top teams. You win at home, and that equals that. But Johnny, Boise State, it says 3-1 on the road. The one loss was at Clemson. Boise State 3-0 on the road in Mountain West play.
Isn't that crazy? And to the benefit, I mean, those wins. Not coming against the obviously the top tier competition in the league, but again, you got to play them at some point, so you got to beat them there. Boise State putting itself in a real nice position. I think maybe Leon and the staff might look back at last night and say, all in all, what happened to us was a good thing because we got into a moment of crisis and we responded. I mean, if you look at the line, Tyson Degenhart, this was one of the worst games of his career on the stat line. I thought he played well. I thought he kept the entire thing together. I thought Tyson had a really good game. I thought in certain situations, he was the dominating ball handler. I thought in certain situations, defense, passing, Tyson, I thought was the glue to that comeback last night. Leadership, heart. I love the way that kid plays. So, I mean, it showed me that like Tyson doesn't have to fill up your stat line and he can still play well. Oh Omar Stanley. He's shooting 55% from downtown in conference play. This dude is unconscious. Like, It's crazy what's going on. And he did that again last night. And I saw Abe Jackson on TV. We got an inside joke, myself, BJ, and Abe. Anytime Omar hits a three, Abe looks over at BJ. I'm watching the TV copy last night. You can see Abe right next to the Boise State bench. BJ was behind the Boise State bench. Omar hits that three, and I look over and I see Abe. He's looking straight at the court, BJ, and I see him look over and kind of look back and look at you and be like, see, I told you the dude can shoot threes. It was hilarious, man.
Yeah,
but yeah.
If that's what it takes, let him keep hitting them and let Abe keep looking over at me. That's great.
55%, man. Isn't that nuts?
And now he's not even thinking about it. He caught one on the wing there last night and was just like, boom.
He's waiting for it. He gets hungry. Like, I need to shoot a three.
At some point, they're going to have to start guarding him. But let's hear. Well, first of all, Max Rice, by the way, 16 points. Those floaters that we've talked about, Johnny, those shorter shots, the one-handed shots in the lane. He hit his first 2 or 3, and I felt that really was the difference for him to get a little confidence. He finished, I guess it was only 6 of 14, but he got off to a hot start. 16 points, though, a team high. Tide Abo with 16. Omar Stanley had 14, as he said. Roddy Anderson with 9. Boise State only had 10 turnovers. They shot 46% from the field, and the rebounding battle, they won by 10. But really what it was Fresno State, who's one of the teams that turns it over more than anybody, only had 10 turnovers. And Fresno State made shots. They shot 53% from the field for the game. And in the second half, Fresno State shot 58.3%. So they just didn't really miss much in the second half. And that number 0, Yap. Number 0, Yap for Fresno.
Yeah, they were draining.
He hit a 3 right in front of the Boise State bench and turned and talked a little trash. And our boy Boucher was sitting right behind me in the front row of the seats. And, I mean, that was all he needed to trigger him. The rest of the game, Boucher was just talking trash to Yap.
He was yapping at him. The dude had 17 off the bench for Fresno. I don't know. Maybe he needs a few more minutes, or that was the best night of his life. You know, stuff like that happens in the Mountain West, and you have to be able to adjust and still be able to get the win. And that's what they did last night. Yeah.
I didn't really even realize he didn't even start. So he hits his first 3 and he turns to the bench and starts talking trash. And
on Fresno's bench.
He was talking trash to Boise State, and he Boucher let him have it the rest of the game. But again, Boise State was up 16 points, 63-47 with about 10 minutes to go. It was a 21-3 run. Boise State scored 3 points in an 8-minute span, and they just kept coming and coming and coming, and they finally took the lead. And it did not look good, man. Uncle Mo was 100%. There was only about 3,500. I don't even know what they announced the attendance at. There was only about, I would say, 3,000. Let's see if they put it in the notes here. They called it 3,872, 3,872, and that's within a 15,000 seat arena. So it was empty.
Basically a pack, like 3,800 in ICA, Idaho Central Arena downtown. BJ looks pretty full, and I know the Save Mart's way bigger than that, but that didn't look anywhere close to 38.
They were making some noise though when they started making their comeback, and it got a little loud, and there was a little bit of energy. And as you said, I believe it was Max Rice, and I forget who else slapped the ball away, but Boise State initially missed the shot, and then I think Tyson and Max, maybe it was Max, slapped the ball, and whether it was a turnover or offensive rebound, I don't know what they counted it as. But created the extra possession. They kicked it out. Buzo was in the corner, and that was literally a perfect line from where I was sitting, just straight on line. And you're right, they needed that shot, man. That was the biggest shot of the game, and maybe we'll look back one of the biggest shots of the season for that shot to go in, because they had nothing going. And who else? Buzo steps up with confidence and drains the 3.
Such a stud. I mean, Buzo's a stud. Omar's a stud. Tyson's a future Hall of Fame here. Famer here. Max is really good. I mean, they got something with this squad. And if they keep playing like they did last night in the bad spurt, then obviously they'll run into some roadblocks. But BJ, tough to win on the road again, like I said, and I think they got something here, man.
And Cam Martin hit another 3-pointer. Jace Whiting hit another big 3-pointer. Andrew Meadow had an and one. I hope folks saw that on the pregame show. If you missed it, you can go back and watch impromptu. Once I got set up there in Fresno and jumped on the show, Andrew Meadow's mom was there, and we got her on the show, and it was her first ever time seeing him play in college in person. She has not made it to any games this season. They have another kid that's in school and stuff, and so she made the sign. If it was me, I would have been like, Mom, do we really need the sign? I'm in college now. Like, she's the Andrew Meadow 13 poster board.
In an empty arena.
She was loving it.
The dude with long hair and glasses, a mix between Kurt Rambis and the Hanson brothers. I love it, man. I love it.
She was loving it, and it was cool, and they made the drive about 3 hours, they said, and it was the first time they got a chance to see him. And he didn't do a ton, but had the and one at one point and scored 3 points. So that's 12 points again for the bench after scoring 10 the other day. So you continue to get production off the bench. Johnny, let's take a quick 90-second timeout, and when we come back, we'll hear from Leon Rice briefly. I only got about 2 minutes with him because I was kind of in a hurry last night, but Leon Rice's general thoughts. We'll hear from Max Rice and Omar Stanley as well, but quick 90-second timeout, and then we'll get to some of this audio here and keep discussing Boise State's 72-68 win. The Broncos now 5-1 in conference play, tied for first place. We're back in 90 seconds here on Bronco Nation News. All Bronco Nation News broadcasts come from the Cutwater Spirits Canned Cocktail Studios. Check out one of their more than 30 flavors of pre-mix premium cocktails at your local gas station or grocery store. Cutwater Spirits, perfect for your next game day tailgate party. Our title sponsor is rowpaint.com for all your commercial, industrial, residential painting needs. Check out rowpaint.com. Don't forget about their concrete coatings. Transform that ugly concrete slab on your back patio in your garage in just one day. Contact rowpaint.com for a free estimate today. The official paint and coatings company of Boise State Athletics, and our title sponsor at Bronco Nation News is rowpaint.com. Idaho Central Credit Union's been helping members achieve financial success for more than 80 years. There's an ICCU branch on almost every corner, but the closest is in your pocket with free eBranch mobile and online banking. See why more than 500,000 members love ICCU, and join 1 in 4 Idahoans by making the switch today at ICCU.com. Since 1984, Ridley's Family Markets has prided itself on being a hometown food and drug store that employed value members of the local community. Ridley's Family Markets has 13 locations in the state of Idaho and many more in the surrounding states. Download the new Ridley's app to your smartphone, get savings up to 40% off at the checkout line, and find a location near you at shopridleys.com. Former Bronco Matt Bauscher is once again the number 1 ranked realtor in the Treasure Valley. No home is too big or too small for Matt and his team. Let them fulfill all your real estate needs at BauscherRealEstate.com.
Pull that one out.
What resiliency by our guys, and give Fresno credit. They didn't quit, and they pressed back into they got aggressive in their defense, and they're on the road. It's tough, and we had a little bit of the wrong personnel against the zone, and then it took a little bit to get them in there. I had to save one time out, but it says so much about our guys. They take the lead on the road. It's loud in here, and our guys are tough enough to finish. And we were plus 10 on the glass. We scrapped out those last rebounds, and I think they even got that rebound. Max back tapped it, and then we threw it to Buzo to take the lead. And I thought, we managed that down the, he doesn't make that, the clock's ticking. And so, terrific win for our guys. Yeah, you'd like to go 16-20, but, life on the road. And you got to give them credit. They banged in some shots and, hit some big ones. And they're a good team. Our guys know that. Our staff said that. We came away feeling the same way after we played them than before. I think that team's going to make some noise, and somebody's going to come in here and not get that done. We got it done.
To the zone, were you expecting that to be possible? Or
yeah, absolutely. You're always, and we're really good against that zone, but you were kind of in that gray area of like, okay, you don't want to just shoot that first 3 from the corner because it speeds up the game, and so it probably caused us to be a little less aggressive. I want us to be a little more aggressive out of that. And, we got to lay in against it. We made a few adjustments as it went on, but and then Buzo got the big 3 from the corner. But it's the fine line of you don't want to just shoot the first available, but we want to be aggressive out of it. And I also had Omar out, and he was hot because he had 4 fouls. So it's the adversity you have to face on the road and that you have to respond to be a championship contender. And our guys did respond and got it done.
And now you're tied with Utah State, first place on the line on Saturday. Home game for you. Your thoughts on Saturday?
Yeah, it's can we have a couple minutes to enjoy that? Yeah, but that's the Mountain West. I mean, you play a really good team on the road and have to scratch and claw to get a win. And our bench was huge tonight, got us some great minutes and kept some guys fresh, and bought us minutes when guys were in foul trouble, those kind of things. That was huge. And we got to turn around and play another great team. And it's at home. We got to have it sold out. We need a great crowd. It's going to be another Donnybrook.
Another Donnybrook coming on Saturday. Leon Rice says, by the way, Johnny, I didn't mention it, but that another big call late in the game was that over and back. And it was an over and back. I have the videos right there, but that was a crucial play where Boise State put a little pressure on them, and then they were trying to get the ball across half court, and that ended up giving Boise State the ball back, and that was a big play. And then you mentioned Omar Stanley, dude, like another thing that isn't talked about as much, or maybe it is, but another added benefit of his game is he can make free throws. You can leave him in the game late in the game, and he hit those 2 free throws that were massive as well. And there was a 1-and-1. I forget who missed it.
Missed the front end of 1-and-1.
He made 2 other ones, I believe, as well. But overall, I mean, that was there was a couple of key plays late that just as bad as the momentum had been going, Boise State found a way to flip that switch right when they needed to there at the end.
Did you look at the plus minuses last night, BJ? And I don't know how much you subscribe to these, but I don't know if I've seen this with this team yet this year. Omar Stanley last night was plus 23. Means when he was on the floor, they outscored Fresno by 23, which tells you when Fresno went on that mega run, who was on the bench. Okay.
Yeah, so four fouls. Yeah, he had 4 fouls.
He did. Good point. The second was plus 10 with Abo. Think of that. 23 for their first one and 10 for your second. I mean, that's the importance of Omar Stanley, and maybe he needs to do a better job of staying out of foul trouble in those situations. That's a tough move because, you want to save him, but at the same point, I mean, when Fresno went on that mega run, Omar Stanley wasn't out there as much. So it happens. They got the win, and now they're looking to a massive showdown on Saturday, BJ. Utah State, Boise State, when they're both good, when they're both tied for first, that's a lot of fun in this town.
Speaking of Omar Stanley, I got about 90 seconds with Omar after the game. Let's hear from Omar Stanley after the win.
Feels good. I feel like, it was, like you said, it was a little dicey, but, we got the job done. So
What changed there? They went to zone a little bit. I mean, but they went on a 21-3 run. You guys are looking pretty up 16. All of a sudden you're losing with 3 minutes left. I mean, what kind of changed?
Just the intensity got turned up. You know what I mean? We had to respond, and I feel like we did. So,
to be in that adversity on the road, and it wasn't a big crowd where they started making a little noise there and you guys are down. I mean, just how do you kind of explain that second half there where you guys needed to get some key buckets there?
We play our home games are really important, you know what I mean? Like, we have great fans, and so we're kind of used to that loud environment, you know what I mean? So I think that kind of prepared us when it started getting super loud, we're used to that, so.
I mean, you guys are aware this would have been a devastating loss for you. I mean, what was the feeling like when all of a sudden they come all the way back and take the lead, and what was kind of the feeling in the huddle there to try to pull this one out?
It wasn't any anxiety or anything, you know what I mean? We've been in this situation before, we're winners, and so that's exactly what we did.
For you, we've been talking about the 3-point shot, but to hit 2 more tonight and just to do what you've been doing lately, if they're going to leave you open, I mean, you're going to keep letting it fly?
Why not?
We didn't see that, though, at St. John's. You were 4 of 19 or something. I mean, what is it? Has it always been in there? Did you do something in the offseason to improve that? Or what's been the key for the 3-point shot this year?
I think the difference is the confidence and also trust within the coaching staff and my teammates. You know what I mean? They trust me to make that shot, and I know I can hit that shot. It's always been there, but, it's the difference between, just confidence and no confidence. I have confidence. So.
I know you're still getting used to this league, first year here, but just going on the road in conference play, sometimes it's 15,000, sometimes it's 3, but what's it like going on the road in conference play?
Yeah, every road game is special, man. Like, Mountain West, there's no drop-off in the top team to the bottom team. Every team competes, so.
And now you're tied with Utah State for first place. You're playing them on Saturday, first place on the line. What's the thought going into Saturday?
Big opportunity for us. So, we're ready. We're excited.
I asked him about shooting the 3
business, man. All business.
I asked him about shooting all the 3-pointers. I said, if they're going to leave you open, you're going to keep letting it fly. And he just looked at me and said, why not? What a find, man.
He's already popular. I mean, what a find that was for Leon. The fact that you have him for another year.
I was going to say, man, I don't think somebody, I forget who was talking to me the other day, and they're like, oh, man, the shame they only got him for 1 year. I'm like, no, you get him for another year. Like he's, I guess you never know in this day and age of college basketball.
Exactly my point. But man, what a terrific find. He's having a terrific season. He's having the best season, I think, of anybody on this team. I think if you had to say, okay, this team, who is its rep to be the conference player of the year, I would say Omar Stanley and then Chibuzo Abo for me.
Yeah, people are loving your plus 23 stat in the comment line. They're talking about his importance to the team and what he's doing there. Johnny, let's get our last 90-second break out of the way, and I want to hear from Max Rice, and I got a couple other topics for you in the comment section here, but let's take one more quick 90-second timeout if folks can hang on. We'll be right back. We're breaking down Boise State's win over Fresno. We're looking ahead to Saturday against Utah State. We're back in 90 seconds here on Bronco Nation News. Bronco Nation News is sponsored by Tommy Alquist and Ball Ventures Alquist, Idaho's premier commercial real estate development company. BVA projects specialize in office, retail, flex, medical, and industrial spaces located at some of the most strategic and visible locations in the valley. Need a developer? Looking for new space? Think BVA. At BVA, we are Idaho's developer. The Nicolason family and SON management have proudly been operating Taco Bell restaurants in and around the Treasure Valley since 1969. One of the first to make a 7-figure donation to the Lyle Smith Society, they've also stepped up their support of Boise State athletics with the Taco Bell men's and women's basketball endowed scholarships. The Nicolason family and SON management have committed at least $310,000 by 2026. Get more information on their financial support of Boise State athletics and find information on applying to work at Taco Bell at TacoBellWorks.com. Lithia Ford of Boise is a proud supporter of Boise State athletics and the official car and truck of the Broncos. Lithia Ford of Boise supports Bronco student athletes through NIL deals, including providing Ford vehicles to Taylon Green and Riley Smith from the football team and Paige Barsh from the volleyball team. Rain's family purchased our F-150 from Lithia Ford. Couldn't be happier with the purchase. Check out the all-electric F-150 Lightning or the electric Mustang Mach-E at Lithia Ford, and make sure to check out their full inventory of vehicles at LithiaFordBoise.com. The Blue and Orange Store is the perfect spot to get all your gear for your next Bronco game. The Blue and Orange Store has official Nike apparel, including jerseys, shirts, sweatshirts, jackets, hats, and more. Wear what the Broncos wear and get it at the Blue and Orange Store, the second floor of the Boise Town Square Mall, or get free shipping on a $40 order online at theblueandorangestore.com. Johnny, some folks in here saying they're excited to watch the Colorado State-Nevada game tonight as a fan and not have to worry about the stress of last night's game. Every night in the Mountain West, man, there's going to be a good game, two good teams playing. I saw there's even a game on Sunday, by the way. How about Nevada going to New Mexico on Sunday night? That's a weird one this week. So there's a Friday night game. There's pretty much Mountain West basketball almost every night now. And this league, man, you gotta pick off as many as you can on the road and hold serve at home. And as I said, I know two of the three venues have been two of the three easier venues, but 3-0 on the road is 3-0 on the road in conference play.
I think Boise State right now is shooting under par for the course. I think if you would have looked at the standings and the schedule before the season, the schedule, you probably wouldn't have factored, hey, 5-1 at this point. You might have said 4-2, right? I mean, a couple of those games in there. So, yeah, in this league, and I think Leon said it as well, there's going to be a team that's going to go to Fresno expecting a win just like Boise State did last night, and they won't get it. So for them to be able to get that and beat the teams you have to beat, like you said, and at the end of the year have 13, 14 conference wins, 15 would probably be a far stretch to say, but 13, 14, you feel really good about going to the tournament for the third consecutive year.
I mean, that's like tonight. New Mexico tonight is playing at San Jose. I'll bet you that's a close game. I could see San Jose at home. I mean, that's I'm very interested to watch that game as well. And you saw last night at home, UNLV getting blasted by 30 by Air Force. And after the game, UNLV players, I saw the post game this morning. They were just admitted they didn't take Air Force seriously and didn't take the prep seriously in the days leading up to the game. And they got blasted by 32, I think it was, or whatever it ended up being at home. And so that was in this league, you can't take anybody lightly. And you got to find a way to pull out the win. But as I said, Max Rice, Johnny, we're going to hear from him in a second, but just wanted to get your thoughts on Max. And we've talked a lot about him on the show. He's gotten a lot of criticism from fans of late for his shooting. But 16 points last night. I think early in the game was hitting some of those short shots, got off to a good start, hit a three. Had 11 points, I believe, in the first half. I believe he hit a couple key free throws as well. He was 3 for 4 from the foul line. Again, the overall shooting numbers, weren't his best of all time last night. But I still thought it was a step forward for him. Confidence builder, 16 points, and those were big points. And you mentioned some of the other things: 4 rebounds. He had an assist, had 2 steals. And that big one there at the end of the game helped lead to the Buzo shot.
Yeah, I mean, this Leon, this staff, this team, I mean, they feel comfortable with Max Rice playing heavy minutes. They feel comfortable with Max Rice on the floor. I mean, led the team in minutes last night, BJ. And I always look with Max, too, because, people will say, well, sometimes he's out of control. And I'm like, yeah, I see what you're saying on that. But he finishes 35 minutes. He has 1 turnover. So he's not turning the ball over one time in 35 minutes. I mean, that's that's as good as you can have, just about, BJ. Yep. 16 points, his up and under game, the old school shot selection he has. I love it. Yeah. It worked last night. They needed all those points. I think Max is doing fine. I don't think at this point, year 6, I don't think the noise bugs him anymore. I think Max is just like, to hell with it. I don't even care anymore. I get it. I've heard it all at this point. I mean, think about this. A lot of kids who play for their dad play 2-3 years, right? Max has had to do it for 6, man. He really has heard everything. He's heard multiple classes of colleges and graduates and then new students coming in with new insults on the daddy's boy stuff, man. Oh, yeah. I think he's impervious to it right now. I don't think he cares. And that's his local fan base too, who doesn't want him playing the minutes that he's playing. Last night, sure. I thought he was fine, man. There were better players on the floor. Yeah, Max would tell you that too. But all in all, yeah, they feel comfortable with him out there and they won.
I thought it was a step forward for him. As I said, 16 points. He played well. And with the win, he and again, I know COVID messes with this stuff, Johnny, but Max Rice moves into the top 10. He is now the 10th all-time winningest player in Mountain West history in terms of wins that he has played in with the COVID year. So Max Rice, a big piece of the win last night. I had a chance one-on-one to catch up with Max after the game. Here's Max Rice, Bronco Nation News after the game.
Yeah, any road Mountain West win is a good win. Got really scary there at the end. The crowd got into it, and that's a little bit our fault, but I thought their coach did a great job switching up the defense on us. We were kind of in a rhythm there, and when they went zone and when they went 1-3-1, it really messed with our offense. So I think we did a good job kind of weathering that storm at the very end, and it's a huge road win.
I mean, yeah, they went on a 21-3 run. You're up 16 with 10 minutes left. All of a sudden, you look up and you're losing. I mean, what did it take to pull it out there at the end?
Yeah, well, I don't think a lot of teams could still win a game where the other team goes on a 21-3 run. So there's some positives to take out of it, but I think it's a huge road win, and we're playing for first place on Saturday.
People don't understand on the road how hard it is, and I know it's never easy, but you were up big and you had to hang on. But I mean, just to leave here with a road win, and regardless of how it happened, I mean, how's it feel?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is just getting the W. Like a quad 4 loss right now would not be good for us. I know I would have been sick the following 3 days. It would have taken me a long time to recover from that one. So I was just trying to do everything I could. Had a dude chirping at me in the front row. He was like, what'd he say? He's like, my high school daughter makes more shots than you or something like that. Then I hit a floater and I was like, can your high school daughter make that? I was like, no. So we were kind of chirping back and forth, but just getting that road win feels really good, and I'm happy.
You were hitting the floaters and stuff, and a lot of those shots have just been rimming off this year for you. But to hit a couple early and kind of, I mean, how did it feel for you personally?
Well, I've been watching film a lot of my shots. I feel like a lot of my looks are coming at the end of the shot clock, and that happened again tonight. I feel like I made a lot of the shots that came to me in the offense, and the ones I missed, again, were 2 seconds on the shot clock. Deggy flips it back to me. I hoist something. I think I took 3 of those just from deep alone. But I trust the work I put in, and all I care about is winning. I could care less if I score at all, and we keep winning, so I'm good.
You mentioned Utah State. I know you love playing against them. You love playing against their fans.
Yeah.
Your thoughts on first place on the line on Saturday?
Oh, it's going to be a good one in Boise. I don't think it's even on TV, which is a shame. But, yeah, we have great battles with Utah State. Their fans really care. Good for them. And they've had a great season so far. I think they got 2 losses on the entire season. So they're a well-oiled machine right now, and I think we're playing well also. So it'll be a good matchup.
Not on TV is a bummer. Mountain West Network.
Is that a shot at Jay Tust? Is Max taking a shot at Tustage there? Like, why isn't KTVB's not picking this up? Tusty.
Jay tried. Jay said he really tried, but they couldn't.
That's crazy. That's on the mountain. How good is the Mountain West? Well, Boise State, Utah State, 2 teams in first place. Yeah, you gotta see it on the app. That's how good the league is this year. That's crazy, man.
You've seen this a lot where I think it was Colorado State and Utah State. The TV executives early, before the season when they were picking their games weren't expecting much out of Utah State or Colorado State because a lot of their games are on the Mountain West Network this year.
Mm-hmm.
It is weird how that
should be able to change that, but I get it. Okay.
What do you make? What do you make of Saturday's game? I know it's a home game. Boise State has a lot of tough games coming up. They got to go to the Pit on Wednesday next week. They still have all these other road trips. I mean, when you get one of these perceived top teams, at home, I don't want to say must win, but this is a big game and should be a big crowd, and a 2:00 start should be a lot of fun on Saturday.
Yeah, I mean, with the win will come a lot of things. And I think one will be, if you care, an AP top 25 ranking. Jay Tuss is going to have to put him in his poll at that point. So that'll come with it. And I think the relationship between this fan base and this team and everything will get closer. Another close win. It feels like, because I'm not a fan. I'm in the middle here. And I see like the relationship between the team and the fans. And I think there's a good solid core of relationship with this team and its fans. And if they win and it's loud and fun and festive again on a Saturday afternoon, that's going to grow too. So a win, a lot of that stuff will come with it, and people will be ready for not only March, but February, BJ. And a loss, you're like, okay, I think we're still under par for the course, you would think. If you're a Boise State fan, you'd be 5-2 in the league. Easy peasy. Let's just go. You're going to lose to good teams. Utah State's a good team. It's interesting, though, because they didn't return 1 point from last year's team. A Beeler told me that in Cubicleville. Not 1 point from last year's team, and they're good. So credit the Utah State program and everything they do down there in Logan for being able to reload like that and probably go to the NCAA tournament. Are you kidding me? So we'll see. But other than that, I don't know a ton about the team, but I love when I see Boise State and Utah State playing hoops. That's always something that piques my interest, BJ. And I can't wait to sit next to you in a little press corner. Is it going to be packed again? Or are we going to have more space?
Utah State usually brings somebody, but I don't think it should be super packed. I don't know.
Not like Vegas.
Yeah. Well, man, we'll see if Jay, I think we'll have more room because Jay Tuss is calling the game, so he'll be down on the court. So we'll have an extra seat up there. Jay and his big muscles won't be pushing.
Tuss is calling the game, but it's just on Mountain West Network.
Yeah, KTVB Plus, KTVB.com has it, just not the actual KTVB Channel 7.
Gotcha, man.
But yeah, Jay Tuss is on. Jay Tuss is on the call on Saturday. 2 final comments here before we get out of here. Kareem the Dream, Johnny says Omar needs a deal with those Stanley Cups that everyone's talking about right now. Those Stanley, it's the it's a Starbucks thing, I think, or I forget where they're selling them. Have you seen that? The crave for the Stanley Cups?
Over my head, man. I missed it. Where have I been? Yeah,
Target. I think it's at Target. They're selling these Stanley Cups. It's a new kind of cup that he needs an NIL deal with.
Okay.
And Brad said, I agree. Omar needs some NIL deals, man. They got to keep this guy around next year.
That's a good point, man. I mean, but let win Saturday. Focus on Saturday right now. But I'm with you. Omar feels like he's very marketable. He's very personable. He hardly said anything, and he gave us a ton of personality. Do you know how hard that is to do in this business? I know you do. It's really hard.
Yeah,
Omar did that.
5 10-word answers, but they were all good. They were all good 10 words. Yeah.
He's Pat Summerall, man.
Yeah. By the way, speaking of not wanting to look ahead, Brad is asking about Buzo having eligibility next year. Yes, Chibuzo Abo has a COVID year. I don't know if he takes it. I wouldn't say it's a guarantee he's back, Johnny. I mean, if he keeps playing like this,
I wouldn't think he's back.
I think another year.
I mean, unless someone. I mean, I think Buzo's a 6-figure plus guy easily overseas from what I've seen. Who knows? I mean,
he might be a second-round draft pick, man, when it's all said and done.
I mean, it's tough because the NBA, there's so many good players, and they only have 2 rounds. they need to make that draft 3 or 4 rounds. And if you don't make the team, you don't make the team. Who cares? But at least you let the kids get drafted and you go through that process. But, man, I don't know if Buzo would be back next year. If he does, I mean, wow, if they all run that back minus Max, Chris Lockett coming up, everybody else they have, and whatever else they would do. Yeah, Leon, could you say 4 consecutive trips to the tournament as a mid-major program? Nobody does that.
Well, they at least should have Tyson and Stanley and Andrew Meadow back and Roddy Anderson and a good core.
Yeah, they'll be good.
The excitement is, that I think is part of the reason is you see where they're at right now, but where they could be in the future. But they'll worry about next year. You got to win Saturday and then see what happens here with this gauntlet of games moving forward. Again, Boise State Saturday, 2:00. Tickets still available against Utah State, and then it's at New Mexico. They're in a nice little stretch here, Johnny. This will be the second of 3 Saturdays in a row with home games. So you get Saturday at home against Air Force, who we saw what they just did to UNLV the following Saturday. But some tough road games coming up. Boise State just has to continue to hold serve at home and win the games they're supposed to win. And they are projected by 1 point to win on Saturday at Ken Palm. So it's going to be a close one.
It's going to be a fun next, 5-6 weeks. And then, BJ, your pool party, everybody's talking about it. It's circa the BNN pool party. Oh, there you go. For the conference tournament. I mean, people are saying that is the social event of the season. It's the Catalina wine mixer ×2. And I can't wait to be a part of that too. So yeah, what a stretch run we're going to have here.
And folks have been asking me if you and Prater, we saw your video of the cannonball last time you were there.
Yes.
Any chance you and Prater reenact that?
I mean, you know me, I'll do anything. Gosh, but Prater,
you're in good shape right now too, man. You're probably not ashamed to take that shirt off and get in the pool.
It's a good question, man. I haven't thought about ever taking my shirt off in front of anybody since that last time I did that thing with you, BJ. When you get 40, you just stop taking your shirt off. But yeah, I'll do anything. But Prater, that's a tougher sell, man.
You guys are going to have a lot of fun. We're going to be down there. You'll be down there all week broadcasting your show, and we'll be doing our show down there as well. And if you want to come to the pool party, it's typically a $40-$50 cover charge to get in stadium swim, but it is free if you RSVP to Reigns at BroncoNationNews.com. Reigns at BroncoNationNews.com. Send me an email, RSVP. We'll get you on the list. You get free cover charge. Johnny and Prater will be doing their show out there. All the conference tournament games will be on that Friday. Johnny, you have the quarterfinals of the Big Ten, the SEC. Some big time games will be going on. They'll have food, drink, the DJ out there, live sports on the screens, and then hopefully getting ready for Boise State in the semifinals that night of the conference tournament. So super excited to be partnering with you guys at KTIK for this, Johnny. It's going to be a lot of fun. Hope folks RSVP and check it out. And hope folks listen today. What do we got 3 to 6 today on Idaho Sports Talk?
Oh, dude, what's it like to complete your rookie season in the NFL? We will ask that question live to Scott Matlock at 5 o'clock. BJ, we booked Matlock. We are pumped about that. And who knows? Will he have a new coach by then? And Jim Harbaugh with the LA Chargers? But moreover, for Boise State fans, I mean, you knew Scott Matlock was invested in that program last year. He was staying in touch. He was FaceTiming. He was down there. I cannot wait to hear Scott Matlock, I think for the first time publicly, endorse Spencer Danielson and share his thoughts on the football program. I mean, Scott Matlock's still a big-time member there, obviously, of the family. They all are.
Oh, yeah.
But we're talking with Matlock today at 5 o'clock. Going to be money.
I can't remember what game that was, but there was some game where they had a bye week or they played earlier in the week or something, and Scott Matlock, came to the game. He's like, still effectively on the team. He's on the field. Like, he's like in the huddle coaching up the D-line. He's like coaching up the D lineman in the huddle. And he's like walking out of the, essentially walking out of, the locker room with a clipboard, basically. I mean, he was like coaching the team. I mean,
he was, man. He was on the sidelines. He was
awesome to see him.
That was awesome. Yes,
and those are all his friends and guys that he just played with. And did you see the video of him in the cold tub, by the way, on his Instagram?
I didn't, man.
He was like out. I don't know if he was back in Homedale at his home or somewhere. And I don't know where exactly it was, but literally there's nothing but snow. It's cold. And then there's like basically snowy, icy, cold water in like one of those tubs. And he was working on his, muscle recovery and all that. And the video is him getting in this like literally freezing, icy water and just submerging his whole body in this cold tub.
Maybe I'll ask him about that. Yeah. So you think it was in Idaho because there was snow everywhere, unless he was like.
I'll have to send you the link, man. But those guys go to extreme lengths to get their bodies in tip-top shape. And I couldn't, when I saw that, I was just like, no chance in heck I'm doing that. But Johnny, appreciate you, man. Great show as always. We'll be listening today 3 to 6. Prater, JP, Bob, the whole crew, and we appreciate you guys and our partnership. And again, KTIK.com, the KTIK app. You can listen live various ways. You can listen to their podcast as well. They post that later on the app. And again, 1350 a.m. and 95.3 FM. The Ticket is the website. We'll be back tomorrow at 9 a.m. We'll start looking ahead. Again, a couple big games tonight. You got Nevada and Colorado State. You got San Jose, New Mexico. Enjoy the action tonight. We'll talk to you tomorrow. If anything breaks, we'll obviously have it covered for you at BroncoNationNews.com. Otherwise, we'll talk to you tomorrow. So we'll be listening at 3 o'clock to Johnny and Prater, and we'll talk to you at 9 a.m. tomorrow. Have a great rest of your day. Bronco Nation News live here at BroncoNationNews.com.